voice. Thank you very much for being here. We have Richard Armitage, Barton Freeman, Ian McKellen, Philippa Boyens, co-writer-producer, of course, Mr. Peter Jackson, the ringleader of this circus, and Andy Serkis, the actual circus. That was unintentional, but nice, happy way to end.
It's the first time that's ever.
So your presentation of the first installment, the two-part series, The Hobbit, is this afternoon. Can you describe at all what you'll be showing to people there?
It's hard to describe it without actually you guys being able to see it. It's a reel. It's going to be quite a few minutes long of footage from the movie. Finished. Most of it's finished.
Roughly how long would you say?
It's about 12 minutes long.
That's a nice big chunk.
Yeah.
Will it be in 3D?
No.
Oh.
It's not going to be in 3D. It's going to be in 24 frames a second because it's just, screening it in a convention centre and it's not a real cinema. So I just wanted to make sure the focus was on the content,
on the story.
The story and the performances. There's some very good performances in the reel this afternoon.
Who was better?
Well,
no, let him answer that.
It's a natural question. Yeah. Well, you have Sir Ian McKellen, first returning to the role that we saw him in The Lord of the Rings, but you have new people. I mean, Andy returning to Gollum, but Martin and Richard are new to the family. Did you end up getting the tattoos that the crew from the earlier movies?
You didn't get yours.
I didn't get mine. No, I missed that memo.
Are you considered honorary members of the Fellowship, or is that taboo?
We certainly. We're made to feel very welcome. It's the same spirit as far as I can gather as the first three. We do feel like as one as far as possible.
Did you feel you had to take anything in particular from those earlier movies for your portrayal, since we saw the older Bilbo?
I certainly was. I was mindful of that, of course. Yeah, and I looked at what Ian did, and I obviously am very admiring of what he did because he's a brilliant actor. But I had to sort of take clues as opposed to be too slavish with it because this is my go. He had his go, damn it. But there are really good clues of just physical traits and vocal traits. But also in that 50 or 60 years that has elapsed, Bilbo can have changed.
As people do.
As they do, and I've kept saying it, but I sort of think that the real work about making me young Bilbo in relation to me and Ian Holm is the fact that I've been cast, because I think we're quite a good match, really.
What would you say you bring to this character? I mean, he's existed in the imaginations of readers for decades. He's been interpreted by different actors. He's been animated. What would you say is the Martin Freeman stamp on Bilbo
Disappointment,
Baggins?
I would say.
Really?
Yeah, I can only disappoint those people.
No. I don't mean like quality. I mean every performance of Richard III has a different spin on it than the last. So
well, I think as Bilbo is kind of he's the audience in a way. He's the nearest thing the audience is going to have to one of themselves in these films, and so I think he has to have, whether I have it or not, I don't know, but he has to have a sort of vulnerability, and he has to have a kind of openness to what he's about to go through. So that I was just trying to portray his sense of openness and his sense of bewilderment of being out in a world where he's completely unfamiliar.
Mr. Armitage, you are another new player in the Tolkien world. Yeah. Tell us about Thorin Oakenshield. Who is he? What do we need to know? What are his vitals?
He's the exiled dwarf king from Erebor, and he's taking his people really back on a journey to reclaim their gold and effectively their homeland. But he's also got quite a personal story in terms of the vengeance that has been bequeathed from his grandfather Thrall to take revenge on Smaug, and also Azog as well, who beheaded him in the battle. So he comes into the story with quite a heavy burden on his shoulders, and is really kind of balancing that throughout the story. But it's interesting how he kind of comes to know himself through his evolving relationship with Bilbo and his deteriorating relationship with Gandalf, and it's one of those reflective moments.
Ian and Andy, you're returning to these characters. Was there anything you were surprised to find that you missed about inhabiting these men? Or whatever Gollum happens to be.
Well, where do you want to start, Ian?
Go on.
Well, I've never really felt Gollum's too far away. Actually, I kind of he's always sort of been lurking there. But I suppose the Gollum's slightly different the way that he was written in the Hobbit, in the sense that in the Lord of the Rings, in the legendarium that we created of Lord of the Rings, he the Smeagol Gollum sort of personalities aren't that kind of defined in the book, and that's something that I think we wanted to put into our version of the Hobbit, to have those two sides of the personality to play so that when Bilbo comes into contact with him, it's very confusing because he doesn't really know who he's talking to. So that was great. It was great to get back into that, and then it was actually one of the first things that we shot, and it was the first scene,
week of shooting, yeah.
First thing we did, and it was great because we were able to play it as a sort of a little chamber piece, and it was a great introduction for Martin, and to just focus on one other character, and it was and we sort of played. You could play the scene through in its entirety, which is really exciting.
And Ian, how did you feel?
Coming back to Middle Earth is like coming back to your family, because not just the actors, people in front of the camera, but everyone behind it, and all the heads of the departments are the same as they were 13 years ago, so it's wonderful. Or more of the same, and then to have all these new actors in it is people kept saying, was it like this last time? And I said, yes, it was disorganized last time as well. And making movies in New Zealand, particularly in Wellington, at those studios, is like making a home movie of the highest possible quality. You all live close to the work, which is a big point when you're working long hours. And the bonhomie and the friendship that you get from Kiwis, and a lot of New Zealand actors in this time round. It is wonderful for them and for us. So. And you meet their families at weekends, so you really do feel part of the family. So it's been more of the same, but even better. And nice to work in a studio where you don't hear the aeroplanes taking off at the international airport just through the wall of the old paint factory where we did Lord of the Rings. I mean, we've got state-of-the-art, fantastic studios.
Now, Philippa, before we go, I know we have to wrap up, but I want to ask you, as a co-writer, co-producer, I'm sure all of you could answer this, but without giving anything away, you have to divide a novel into two parts. Did you feel you had to create a climax, or was there a natural one there? What can you tell us about the separation?
I think we focus very much on the characters, and you have to deliver on that part of the storytelling, especially at the end of the first film, wherever it ends. But it is.
But did you have to invent anything for it, or was it already in the book?
No, I think it's in the. No, we didn't, and it's in the spirit of the book, I think, and certainly I think fulfills the character's journey. You feel like you've gone on a journey, and you know that there's more to come, but you feel like you've reached a point, I think, that's satisfying in terms of having sat and watched a whole story. It's just there's more to tell.
Excellent. There's more to tell, but we're out of time. Thank you guys so much for being here. I'm really grateful. Keep watching EW.com for more live from Comic-Con.